Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with jazz guitarist Joshua Breakstone. His latest recording, Children of Art, is a tribute to Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers and is made up of compositions written by members of that hallowed band. Hundreds of great young musicians were a part of that group over a 60-year tenure, all with youthful energy and enthusiasm under Blakey's mindful mentorship. The compositions that Joshua selected were written and recorded by the musicians while they were with the band. He talks about all of this and more, so dig this interview, my friends.
I just want to thank you for taking a minute to talk to Neon Jazz about the new album, Children of Art. I appreciate it.
Yes, my pleasure.
So when I got this album, I put it in my car right at the top of the morning, driving into work, and it just felt right. Everything about it sounded just right. So what I want to know from you is, what was your vision with this? Beyond covering these amazing musicians and Art Blakey, what was your vision for this overall process?
Even though it's mostly being referred to as a tribute to Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, I think you just kind of comes back to me and my own priorities as a musician. So we all know Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers and all the versions, the classic versions from the 50s, 60s, and beyond. And that's great, you know, and I love to hear those bands when I was coming up. But for me, you know, one big part of, like, my whole approach to music and the thing that I love about playing are melodies and compositions and songs, you know. So this recording, even more than just being dedication to the great Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, it's a dedication to some of those members from the classic years, looking at those great players, not just as sidemen, or later they would become leaders in their own right, but as composers. And that's what was most interesting about this project for me, is taking a look at the writing of each one of these individuals.
So on kind of a visceral or cerebral level, what do you want the person that buys this CD or downloads this CD to get from what you have created?
Just to enjoy some of the writing of some of these great jazz messengers, to remember some of these people. I actually did an interview this morning with somebody in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, and he was saying that, you know, boy, Walter Davis Jr., you know, he had to look twice to see if he was a jazz messenger or when he was a jazz messenger. I mean, things like that. And if it's possible that are taken by any of these tunes in particular on this recording, maybe they go and they explore some of the other writing that some of these individuals have done. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. A few of these songs on this recording, for instance, the Cedar Walton tune that we did, weren't even recorded or played during the time that these individuals were members of the Jazz Messengers. So we're really looking at, you know, each one of these great. That's why we call it Children of Art. The children of art, the people that went through the University of Art Blakey, looking at them as composers. So if it takes people into some other of the writings of some of these people, that would be great.
What do you think it is about Art Blakey and all of these guys that were a part of this outfit, like Lee Morgan and Wayne Shorter and Benny Golson? What is it about all these guys that's just going to be forever etched in our memory and will always be something that we're going to cover and come back to?
Wow, it's a commitment to great music, to great music that communicates, that swings. In Art Blakey's recordings and his performances, it was incredibly dynamic. There was a real range of feeling, of tempos, of styles. He could play everything from African-related music to swing. He'd swing like crazy, to hard bop, to soul kind of music, like from the Bobby Timmons era and beyond. So it's just music that stands up due to the incredible beauty and the amazing strength and the commitment to communicating to jazz. This is, for me, this is jazz. This is the essence of what we're talking about when we start talking about being jazz musicians and playing this kind of music.
Well, you've done a wonderful job of covering this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Can't wait for my audience to hear it. So, Joshua, thank you for taking a minute to talk about art, the music that you've covered, and this project. I appreciate it.
Thank you, too, for the time. I really appreciate your attention, and we'll stay in touch.
Thanks for listening and tuning into another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in California, New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. Thanks to Joshua for his time, music, and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit neonjazz at youtube.com. And for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.